All right, let's talk about Purdue and IU. If Dylan's still here, Dylan is loving this conversation. Purdue wins 35-31 over IU. Man, Jalen Lucas had an amazing, what was it, kick return? I don't think it was a punt return, an amazing kick return there. I really felt like they had some juice going, but, Purdue, they just kind of seemed like the more consistent team. Hudson Card didn't throw an interception, only one fumble, and it wasn't even lost in this game. So that's a huge improvement for Purdue. Brendan Sorsby, who is in the transfer portal now, he threw three interceptions, which was a huge blunder for him and for IU. Connor, what were some of your thoughts on this game?
Listen, I'm kind of one of those guys. I keep saying this about everyone, but I love Purdue. I shouldn't after what they've done to us a couple years ago with David Bell, but I'm a big Purdue fan, and I think that the way they play, I think they're heading the right direction. I know their record doesn't particularly show it, but they've got guys like Tiananmen. I don't even know how you say his name. That guy is going to be a freak for a couple years, and it just felt like this game was the nail in the coffin for Tom Allen. But I still am just so impressed with what I saw with Indiana to end the year. I thought they were going to be what Northwestern, I thought they were just going to be the two bottom feeders, maybe win a combined 3 or 4 games max. But they really exceeded my expectations. So I'm happy to see that, IU kept that one close, especially with an in-state rivalry.
Oh, and I said it from the beginning. IU has talent. They're not like a completely talentless team. You see that in the Big Ten sometimes, where it's just like, yeah, they have some big players, but they really don't have any talent. That's not IU. IU has talent. They just can't put it all together consistently enough throughout the game, and I think a lot of that comes down to coaching, which is unfortunately why I think Tom Allen needed to go, and I think it was the right decision to happen. Zach, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, not much. I think Hudson Card played like we thought he could. I think when he's on, he's a very talented passer, and they have good receivers. I'm excited to see where Ryan Walters goes from here. I think that Connor, you were saying like you like where Purdue's heading. I do too. I knew this would be a tough year just with Jeff Brom leaving and a lot of the players leaving with him. I feel like Ryan Walters has gotten, he's gotten a couple of signature wins. They also beat Virginia Tech, which, by the way, Virginia Tech 6-6. So I know that's not great, but it's a 500 P5 win. They beat Illinois, and they get the Old Oaken Bucket. I think that was the other thing about this, Purdue had a very sneaky, difficult non-conference schedule with Fresno State and Syracuse. Syracuse had been playing better in the earlier part of the season. If they replace those games with a couple of MAC bottom feeders, you're talking about a bowl team. So I think, and I'm going a little off script here. I'll just end this. I think the way that they ended the season, even with all the injuries and all the other stuff that was going on, really good job by Ryan Walters. And I think Purdue's really headed in the right direction.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the out of conference. I mean, they played a pretty tough out of conference. Fresno State, who's one of the better group of 5 teams out there. Like you said, Virginia Tech, they're still a 6-6 team. This isn't, a 2-10 Virginia Tech team or anything like that. And then Syracuse, I mean, that's your out of conference. That's 2 Power 5 teams. Syracuse is also 6-6. So I'm not trying to say that this is a powerhouse out of conference or anything like that, but, brand new coaching staff, first year head coach, new quarterback, all these things. They didn't let it demoralize them. They had a huge offensive performance against Illinois. They gave it to Iowa and had a close game, a 1-score game, which it seems like Iowa has that with everybody. So maybe it's not the biggest accomplishment in the world, but still, hey, you scored 14 points on Iowa. Not too many teams can say they did that. It's obviously frustrating, the win total, but I think if you are realistically looking at this Purdue team, you're saying Ryan Walters has a future. He has a good coaching staff. He has the guys in place. The injuries were obviously hard, but when you end the season 2-1, 2 home wins, especially after losing your first, 3 home games, I I think there's hope there for Boilermaker fans, and I don't think it's all wrong. Thanks for listening to the Big Ten Huddle. Please do like and subscribe. We appreciate that. If this was your first time listening, we are the Big Ten Huddle. We cover all things Big Ten football and basketball. We have a long episode every Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night, all at 9 o'clock. So come in, check us out, get in the chat, let us know what you're thinking. We would love to have you join us and learn more about the Big Ten.